Rob Cassidy with Rivals.com here with a look at the new top 10 and the refreshed Rivals 150 for the class of 2022. Obviously, the big news, the one that's going to make waves here, is the change we've made at the top, where we've taken Jalen Duren, we've made him number one over longtime number one Amani Bates. Now, this, simply put, was not a very easy decision. It was one that was debated heavily between myself, Jamie Shaw, and Dan McDonald, who kind of make up the rankings tribunal here at Rivals.com. But it was one that we thought we made the right choice on. You know, in my opinion, I think Bates probably has the higher NBA ceiling. If you're projected to that level, he's more likely to be the number one pick in the NBA draft, should everything click well for him in the years to come. But at some point, we kind of decided that you need to evaluate who is the more complete prospect right now and who has developed the most over the last couple of years. And when you're looking at trajectory and you're looking at who's the most complete player at the moment, I think it's Duren. This is a double-double machine who has proved it all year against the truly national schedule at Montfort Academy. And if you're not a crazy, basketball recruiting fan, you need to understand that Jalen Duren's high school is not playing, regular high schools. He's not taking on some kid that's going to be a Sig Ep next year at, Georgia. He's playing Division I bound talent, and he dominated them all year. I think one of the things you look at when you look at Duren is even when he's not scoring, he's impacting the game in so many different ways. This is a guy that, because of his body and because of his athleticism, demands double teams on the offensive end all the time and scores through them on most occasions. He's also a prolific shot blocker, a prolific defender, moves incredibly well for a prospect of his massive size, and dominates the glass as well. He matched up with Bates one-on-one in Midwest Mania a couple weeks back. We happened to be there in attendance and just thought he looked like he was on the better trajectory at that point. Now, this is something that I've been on the record already saying could flip again. I don't think there's anything really to separate these two players at number one and number two. We could see a situation where Amani retakes his spot before we finalize these rankings a year from now. So that's something to keep an eye on. The other moves in the top 10 where we really like Derek Whitehead. We shot him way up into the top 10. This is a guy we've always been high on. He's long been a 5-star. But he's kind of had a reputation of being a long, athletic slasher, gets the basket, finishes with either hand. But now he's kind of polished that jump shot, I think, and added a mid-range game and become a much better defender. This is a guy, because of his length, because of his speed, because of his motor, I think can defend 1 through 4 relatively easily, and I've seen him do it, on a big stage against other D1 bound players. Another interesting move is, we've given a one-spot tick to Keontae George, a combo guard out of Dallas, overtaking Dior Johnson, who we got to see him match up head-to-head with as well. Both obviously incredible prospects. I just think right now George is kind of playing within the parameters of the game a little bit more. He lets the game come to him. Nothing ever seems forced with him. He's become a much better ball handler, too, in the last few months, is what it seems like to me anyway. And he's put on muscle. He's starting to get a little bit stronger, and he's starting to learn how to use that strength to create space, create his own shot in the mid-range, create his own shot at the basket. And there's just a lot he can do. I thought he looked great a week ago when we got to see him in Texas. So it is just a one-spot bump from number 6 to number 5 for George, but when you're playing, in the top 5 nationally, one spot can sometimes be a lot. Those are the big moves for the Rivals, for the top 10 of the Rivals 150. Stay tuned tomorrow where we'll release the entire list. So if you guys get tired of yelling at me about the moves in the top 10, you can come at me against the full list, the Rivals 150. You'll have plenty more to pick on me about. I look forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow when that releases. Rob Cassidy, National Basketball Reporter at Rivals.com.